pillow. I actually have the pillow off my bed for later when we work through our midsection. I'm going to put it under my shoulders and then I'm going to lift myself above the pillow. So you may want a pillow or a blanket or a folded up towel, in addition to any of the other usual things that you might usually have. So as we're getting ourselves set up, looks like up north there might be a little front coming through, but it should pass through pretty quickly, I'm guessing. And then those of us in California, we're pretty good, aren't we? Probably good enough. So today's practice will have an element of gratitude as we move through and into Thanksgiving. So we try and cultivate that every practice and all year round, but especially during Thanksgiving, kind of cultivating that gratitude. So we'll be using a lotus gesture, or if you wanted to do two hands, if your hands didn't feel comfortable together when we do this, you could do two hands in the lotus. And we're going to offer it. We're going to take it from the ground and offer it to the sky in our attitude of gratitude. And after we follow that, which is balance, we'll do right another balance. And that second balance will be the standing bow pose. So when we step forward, we'll grab our ankle and do a bow pose. So if you think your balance is a little, you might want to have a chair nearby to kind of hold on to with one arm, or position yourself next to a wall like I have, because that's just where I stand. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's come to Namaste and start by standing. So we stand like a mountain, rooting into our feet, engaging our legs, whether that's an inward or outward movement, addressing the base of torso, Mula Bandha, the action that grounds us and supports us, the action of Uddiyana, which is that drawing in of the belly without squeezing the glutes, a positioning of the spine in its neutral and natural position, checking that our shoulders draw down and fingers extend that downward motion into the earth, while the crown of the head lifts to the sky. This may feel usual or maybe a little different for you, because when we stand mindfully, we often remove ourselves from the normal gravitational pull. So we always address our posture, and we know that whether we're in a plank or a warrior or a balance pose, these elements are there for us. Check in with your breath. As you're breathing, maybe aware of your heart. With your eyes open, lowered, or closed, you may assess how your body is feeling today, as you should. So if anything is a little off, you should honor that. But if everything is great, I say go ahead and move and use it. And so with your next breath, reach the arms to the side. Exhale, join the palms into center, reminding ourselves of having gratitude. And then we're just going to begin with our shoulders gently moving. So as I release the arms down and out and up as they feel available, joining together over my head, my palms are touching. Exhaling, drawing down, and then taking the shoulders down till the palms touch together below. So hands above and below. Now we know that as the arms go up, the shoulders elevate to give us that, but we don't have to scrunch them up there. So just going up and down, seeing how your shoulders, your back, tying it together with your breath. So if I were to monitor you, I would know your breath is the timing of your arms moving, with a pause at the top and a pause at the bottom. So this time the arms come down and they go behind your back. Maybe they touch, maybe not. And again, rising up and lowering down. Noticing a gentle change in your energy. And then pausing with the arms to the side. So it might feel more comfortable with your thumbs up, but you could have your palms down. And now with my feet still as they are, not widened, I'm going to feel like I have to reach out and touch the space to the right side and the left side. So my ribs shifting above my hips, activating my core. Now this may be a little bothersome for some back, so just see how it goes. This is what this movement early in our practice is all about, just seeing how it goes. One more each side. And then bringing the arms quietly behind you. And so the hands behind you either just hold on or lace. Make a conscious effort to lift the heart. Now this artificially puts our shoulders back. From here, I straighten the elbows as best I can, breathing in. And exhale, letting the elbows soften. And I'll feel that release in my shoulders. A few more times. And relaxing down. Opening up. And closing down. Opening up. And closing down. And do one more. Hold at the opening up. See if you can stay here a little bit. So you probably don't have a mirror in front of you. Yoga studios never used to have mirrors. And so you have to tune into your body. Do you feel like one shoulder is lifting higher than the other? Kind of strive for symmetry, that we sometimes are backtracking on ourselves. Now come back to your mountain pose and feel that openness or that fluffiness. You can stand with your hands by your side, or if you want to just rest them on your hips. Let's go down and work at the feet level, lifting the heels, kind of a walking motion. If you haven't been up doing much, maybe this is bringing some lubrication. So I'm alternating, assessing how the knees are doing with this load. Toes can be an issue, so just figuring out, can you go across the pads of each one of your toes? So we're going to lift all the toes up as far as you can on one side, so you're just on the heel, and then lifting the other. So a little activation of our tibialis and our breath. Now, if I added the upper body, I would be doing a little bit of nerve flossing, which is kind of a therapy that I'm working on. And let's go to ankle circles now. So you can leave your foot on the floor and just roll it around at the ankle. Of course, the rest of the leg has to participate. Let's go a few times the other way. So I roll to the pinky toe side of my foot, then toward the big toe side of my foot. And breathe. Pause. Ground. Other side. So again, as we work independently, side to side, you ascertain, how are things on this side versus the other side? Change the direction. So we live in these bodies well, and sometimes they get a little tired, but that doesn't mean we can't bring them into better homeostasis by stretching and strengthening ourselves. I'm going to step my feet wide, and it won't matter if you're facing the short end of the mat and come to the edges of the mat, or just stand on the long end of the mat and go here. So I'm going to go into my hips. Currently my legs are straight. I'll put my hands here so you can see what's happening in my hips, but just so you know, my hips are straight. This is my tick-tock motion from side to side. I did my ribs. Now I'm doing the lower lumbar region. And breathing. So you can kind of feel your sides back stretching like that. Okay, now I'm going to bend the knees. So my knees now are bent like I'm sitting on something and I'm moving from side to side. So a little more crimping with my oblique muscles, part of those abdominal group. And let's do a standing cat and cow. So sliding the hands down on your thighs with the knees bent. You draw the belly up depending on how things are feeling with blood pressure and backs and shoulders. You can make it moderate, so just a little bit of pulling the belly, a little bit of looking down, and then lifting the heart and looking outwards. So it could be ever so small. Letting the breath move you. And if everything seems to be going well, you can maybe increase the range of motion, a little more arch in your cow, a little more rounding in your cat. And bringing that energy into our spine. And then from that cat pose, engage your belly and roll yourself up and back into that standing Tadasana with the feet wide. So let's begin to balance a little bit. And the balance is really emanating from our core. So for this one, open the arms. If you want your feet a little wider, you can. This is not me lifting a leg, but it kind of looks like that. So let me be clear and tell you I'm shifting out of one leg, lifting it, putting it back down, standing on it, shifting out of the other leg, lifting it, and putting it down. If you don't want the arms to the side, you don't have to have them to the side. So the feet are always apart, the legs are always apart. And you can feel how your body is adjusting to that. Oh, you're on one leg, are you? So for me, I notice a difference as well. For whatever reason, it might have been a couple of years ago, I was dealing with some hip issues. Kind of feel like my left leg is on the weaker side. But as I go through this a number of times, my body becomes a little more adept at it. And so maybe you will be too. So you can have your arms out if you want. Now, as you're going, can you lift your leg a wee bit more without tipping too far? Stay connected with your breath. So this will help when we get to the balancing portion of having awoken the core and awoken the hips. We'll do a little flow that also gets our mojo going. So I used to say, all right, hip circles. Ooh. I always love the balance with yoga, that it has me doing something that requires my effort, my awareness, kind of makes it a challenge. And then I balance it with a, oh, that feels good, mini massage. Okay, I want to open the front and the back of my legs. This will make our subsequent poses a little easier. So maybe you want your feet a little wider. If you wanted to grab a block and put it in front of you, otherwise use your legs. Some of you may come to the floor as we go to forward folds and back extension. So the hands slide down the legs. My feet are parallel, so the edges of my feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. My arms slide down, so I go through that back, nice and long bookshelf pose. And then I let my hands, if able, go over my knees, down my shins, got lots of support here. Maybe you don't go to the floor, you're looking at the floor, but your hands are remaining on your thighs or your shins, and you're hinged over at the hip. Maybe you feel like you can go to the ankles, or even you're the person that puts the hands on the mat in front of you. We want to feel this less in the back and more in the back of the legs. So if you've come further forward than maybe you need to, make sure the back is neutral, so you're not rounded, and that will transfer that opening to the hamstrings. Yes, ma'am. So I've addressed my blood pressure. As I come up, I'll bend the knees, transfer the hands if they left the legs back to the legs, and slowly roll up. Taking all the time that you need, looking down, looking down, looking down. If you feel like, ooh, give yourself time as you come all the way up and position the thumbs at the small of the back. This is my extension. So as I always caution, if there's some stenosis going on in your back, you don't want to bend it because there's already some narrowing. That doesn't mean you can't have some mobility through your spine. And so to help you with that, you can push the hips forward and lift up the chest, mitigating the amount of curve in the back, or you can stay neutral with your pelvis and lean back using more extensor muscles. You be you. So we rarely do all this standing, looking upward, arching in an active, dynamic, mindful way. We're usually going forward, don't you think? So let's go back forward, leading with the heart, hinging at the hips, giving your back support where it needs it as you slide yourself down. Maybe you go a little further. Maybe you just come back to where you were, as it doesn't matter. So now that I've addressed a little bit for the back and the back of the legs, I'm now going to bend into one knee. And it won't matter if your hands are on the floor or if your hands are on your thigh. You're just going to bend one knee, leaving the other leg straight while you're still bent over, and then go back to the other side. You should feel this at your adductor, the inner thigh from hip to pelvis. It's the straight leg that you're going to feel that inner thigh. Get a gentle stretch, ascertaining if one leg is a little more needy. Breath, bandhas. A few more times, going from side to side. This doesn't have to be big. This is more dynamic. Come back center, transition if your hands are on the mat, back up to your body. Slowly bring yourself up as you're ever so mindful, waiting for blood pressure. Thumbs to the back, lift the heart. You do not have to look up. Some people find that, but if you wanted to look up, certainly could. So let's go to the hip flexor. As I come center, now you're going to turn, doesn't matter which way you're turning. So let's just go one leg turns, the other heel comes up. Might want your arms out to the side for balance because we're in that modified crescent pose. Front knee just a little bent, back leg a little straight. Hands to the side or hands on your hips. I'll identify what's going on with my hips by putting my hands there. So you want to drive the hip forward, lift the chest up, perhaps bend the front knee a little more, gaze at something beyond you for a little more balance, or if you need that wall or chair to steady yourself. And you want to feel that opening in the front of the leg that's behind you. And breathe. As I release back, turn toward the long end or wherever you were before, so we can do the other side. So if I was like this, I would be doing the same thing. It's just easier for you to see me if I'm here. All right, turn your other leg. Lift the back heel, bend the front knee so you get a little balance. Surfs up. Front knee bent, back leg straight. And right away you may feel that gentle pulling here. So as I make a little more accent of the hip forward, the front knee bending and the chest lifting, and I feel that opening. Again, if your balance is too much, this isn't about balance right now. This is about opening and breathing. And as you release, turn back where you were and walk your feet in. Bringing the knees up to your chest, you're just going to clasp your arms around them. You don't have to stay very long. Just bring a knee up, give it a hug, and repeat on the other side. Again, noticing the balance on each leg or the imbalance on one leg more than the other, perhaps. Okay. So I think we're somewhat lubricated except for the neck and shoulder and some twisting. So let's do a little of that. Stand, make sure you're not going to hit a wall as the arms go out. Leave the feet, lift the ribs off the hips and turn one way. Now if you want, look at the arm behind you. And return center, drop the arms. Let's do the other side. Arms up. Again, lift the ribs so you have space in your spine. Turn the other way. And if you want, look a little further. And return back. And we come to step at the end of your mat, whichever end works best for you. We'll do a little flow. We'll have some chaturangas. We'll have you some options, child's pose or down dog or modified down dog. Just going to warm up a little before we get to that balance series. So to the end of your mat, Tadasana. As you stand, so I'm using music here, but it's so quiet I don't even hear it. It's just in the background. All right, the arms will lift when you breathe in. Bend the knees, touch the earth, fold over when you breathe out. Drop the hips, lift the chest, look out when you breathe in. Step your feet or walk your feet into a plank or push-up position. From hands and toes, or if you prefer, putting your knees down. Chin up, elbows in, lower the torso on the mat. That torso includes your hips and your chest. Relax the feet. Baby cobra. So I always start with this to make sure I don't jack my back. If you say, hey, my back's good today, apply a little pressure with your hands, but the elbows are bent, and come back down. Toes under. You can keep your knees down as you lift the hips a little, anchor those shoulders. Let's get that upper body strengthened into a full plank and up into up into down dog, but you can do child's pose if preferred. Stand on your left foot, pick up the right leg in the air behind you. Raise the left heel, bend the right knee. Now as you look forward, you're going to swing the right foot, attempting to bring it in front of you. I'll give you some time if it takes a little bit. Noticing your hip stretch at the front of the back leg. Staying on the ball of the back foot and the front knee bent. Feel free to use that front thigh to help you as you stand up, coming into your crescent pose. Just seeing how this is available. If you don't need the hands on the thigh, you come up. Back leg straight. Leaning forward, grab the hands onto the thigh. Reposition your back foot so the heel is down, the toe on the diagonal. As you set your warrior feet, again, torso comes up, hips and chest forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Whichever leg is in front, that arm goes front. Whichever leg is back, that hand comes to shoulder. Use your hand to turn the shoulder. Look at your front hand. Make sure the hand and knee are aligned, that the knee hasn't moved in. Now reach that hand on shoulder back behind you. You're in Warrior 2. Feeling that opening through the groin. Come back to your crescent pose, back heel pivoting up. As you slightly lean forward, step up and return to Tadasana. And breathe. Again, the arms will lift as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and touch the earth. Look down. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, step back into a plank position. Again, knees or toes. As you lower yourself down, relax the feet. either baby cobra or cobra, or even up dog as you feel, and come back down. Toes under, hips up, can be from the knees as we did before, or come up on your toes. Keep those thighs up. Do the best to press off the mat. Come into your plank. And again, child's pose, option 1, or downward dog, option 2. I'm leaving my feet. Now I'm going to pick up the left foot, but if you did the other foot, your choice. Raise the standing heel foot, bend the leg in the air. Look forward, swing your back foot forward, get into that lunge. Line up your knee and ankle. Usually best done with the foot behind you. Get grounded, check your bandhas, and you're going to stand up. Again, if you need to use that front thigh, use the front thigh. If not, stand up, arms are down, and breathe. So whichever leg is in front, that arm goes forward. The other arm comes to the shoulder of the leg that's behind. As you turn that shoulder open, drop the heel, so you can do this simultaneously. Keep looking forward, commit to your lunge, lining, hand at your shoulder reaches back, deepen into Virabhadrasana 2. Flipping the back heel up, reaching the arms forward, returning into your crescent pose, which we're going to use. Stepping the back foot up and standing in Tadasana. So let's do that 2 more times, alternating the legs. And if you're on a different leg, that's okay. I just call front leg, back leg. I'm just going to stand on this side for variety. Doesn't matter. And then we'll move on to our balance. So perhaps a little more speed, so breathe a little faster. The arms will lift, and then we fold. And then we straighten our spine and step back to our plank. Knees or toes go down. Inhale, go up. Exhale, come down. Toes under, hips up. Push back, downward dog or child's pose as you wait. Raise one leg. I'm raising the right leg. Standing heel lifts. Bend the top leg, look forward. Step the foot up, maybe a little easier this time, one thinks. Ground yourself. This time when you stand up, consider taking the arms overhead or leave them on your thigh. Now keep looking forward. You split the arms, drop the back heel, warrior 2, commit. Soft shoulders. Back to crescent pose, so I pivot on the ball of the foot of the back leg. Step forward, Tadasana, other side. Breath in, lift up. Breath out, bend over. Breath in, look out. Breath out, plank position. From knees or toes, lower down. Go up. Come down. Hips up first, do the best. Press off the mat. Downward dog. Of course, you could do child's pose. Stand on the other leg as you lift the foot. Raise the standing foot heel. Bend the lifted leg knee. Look forward. Step up. Ground yourself. Again, use your hands if you need to, or this time, stand up in crescent pose with arms overhead. Keep looking forward. Drop the back heel, split the arms. Commit to warrior 2. Back to your crescent pose. Step up. Tadasana. So do you feel a little warmed up? Okay, so we're going to do a little balance in the form of the crescent pose and, as I mentioned, the lotus. So when we get to the crescent pose and we're here, We're going to keep the legs as they are and let our body go forward to offer or to collect, whichever you'd like to think of it, and then raise it either in front of you or if you want up, and then go and grab another one and lift it up. Now, if the hands coming together is too much, you can have the fingers touching, collect two. If it's two lotus, is that Lodi? No, I don't think so. If you find the crescent pose is just too much, can't accomplish the picking up of the lotus flower, make it a warrior one, and you do the same thing. You reach, you give, you collect, you release. So the legs will stay the same. After we've done a few rounds of that, whether you're in the warrior or the crescent, you come to the crescent and you're going to step up like we did before. This time, you're going to bring that knee up, grab toward the ankle, and come to your dancer pose. Then you have the option of leaving the hand where it is on the outside of your ankle or spinning it around to grab the inside. Thumb is up, palm is facing away. Then you kick into the foot for the standing bow pose, and then return to Tadasana. And as you finish, bring that knee up to your chest. That's the plan. So if you think you need a chair to kind of steady yourself for some of it, have that nearby. All right, Tadasana. Let me catch my breath, come back to my centered self. I'm going to breathe in and lift my arms, enjoying the palms, bend the knees, hips go back, hands at my heart. So kind of a chair pose. Let's all stand on the right foot, making my reference a little simpler. Take your left foot back and then slide it. So I'm coming to my crescent pose, option one, modifying with heel down, warrior one, option two. As I lift my chest, I go ahead and reach the arms up. As I lower down, collecting my lotus flower, releasing it, reaching, grabbing another, releasing it. Check how your breath supports this pattern of movement. And let's go one more time. And as you come up, you're going to release it. The arms will go to the side to help you. If you need to hold on to something, hold on. That back leg is going to come up and you're going to grab toward the ankle. Reach the other hand up, dancer pose. You can hold the outside of the ankle, or as I showed before, spinning inside. Kick your foot into that hand. You lean only because you're kicking, not because you're leaning. You kick the foot, and in response to the kick, your body slightly moves forward. Stare at something and breathe. Put another lotus flower in your hand. Bring that back knee forward, give it a hug, and Tadasana. Heart rate go up. We do the other side. I'm going to stand at this end. Arms go up, breathing in, hands at your heart, and bending the knees, breathing out. Grounding onto your left leg or the other leg. One leg goes back and go long. As you lift, now maybe this side I'll demonstrate the warrior. So I've dropped that back heel, but my chest and hips are forward. As I release and gather and release and gather. So remember, you can get two, a lotus in each hand, or you can grab a giant lotus with your hand and offer it. Front knee stays bent, Back leg, stay straight. Once more. As you come up, we all need to come to the crescent pose. So the back leg's gonna step up and you're gonna grab it with the same hand down to the ankle, heel to your bum. You can hold the outside as you pause in dancer for a moment. If you wanna move the foot, hand over the foot. When ready, bow pose. Breathe. Coming back, you're gonna bring that knee into your chest. Give it a hug. Tadasana. Let's do it one more time on each side. Don't be surprised as if you're doing something, you step out of it. So the second time your body will have more confidence. Go with the confidence. And if you still step out of it, not a big deal. Tadasana. Arms up. Palms together. Chair pose. So I'm standing on the right as my left leg goes back. Maybe I'll do the warrior. Other side, I'll do the crescent. Keeping the front knee bent. Giving away. Collecting. And this will be my last time. So I come to the crescent, back heel is up, back leg steps up as I grab, adjust, find the dancer, move the grip at the ankle, or if you want to leave it. When ready, you kick into the bow, modified as it may be. Back leg is going to come up to your chest. Give it a little hug to make the back feel better. And we do one more on the second side. Tadasana, and all that infers. Inhale, arms up. Modified chair pose with hands at heart. Grounding. Now my right leg went back. So this side I'm going to stay in the crescent, but you're welcome to drop the heel. Front knee bent, and you reach up, and you gather. So one more. Come to crescent pose, standing upright. Bring the back leg forward, grab hold. Find the dancer pose. You're welcome to stay here. Keep the hand or move the hand. Kick into the bow. Don't forget to breathe. Release the knee to your chest and do the hokey pokey. Shake it all about. Okay, here's my pillow. It's a big pillow. Okay, If you don't have a pillow, it's okay. I'm just elevating myself so when I elevate, I'm a little bit higher than coming off the floor. Can we access the mat without using our hands? Let's just see. Yep. There's so many ways to get down. So I have the pillow or towel or blanket behind me, not on it yet. So I want to sit with my knees bent and my feet onto the mat. My feet are apart currently, but you could do it with the feet together. So one hand option would hold at the front of the shin on the opposite leg. Then you have a free hand of that held leg, and you're going to reach back towards your pillow, blanket, or towel and come back up. A little more challenging is letting the arm go over the head and come back up. And the most challenging is to go over the head looking and to come back over the head. So that's really a lot of work. I've given you a hand to support your back. You don't have to use it. You can have the other hand forward, reach and reach. So you can have the other hand forward. I just think if you know you have something to hold on to, give a little more support to your back, it might be a good option. So we'll do about 6 on one side and then 6 on the other side. So as you come to sit, grounded, it's core, so how about your bandhas? Yep. Option for those who are going to use that extra little support, and then it doesn't matter which arm, but you're going to use the same arm as the leg that's being grabbed. And exhale, reach and sweep. I'm just showing the options. And rest. So I'm going to turn to do the other side just so I don't hit the wall. I will have the same setup, knees bent, opposite hand grabbing below, bandhas and breath, and I begin. You can do all the same ones if you want. I'm just giving you those options. And finished. So I need to turn around, so I have this pillow. You want to stay up for a minute. You'll be able to see why I put the pillow here. So for my pillow, it's a big long one, and I come down here. So my head is on the pillow and as much of my back. So I'm slightly elevated. And this is going to help me as I want to roll myself up so that I somewhat depart the pillow. You could do this on the floor, but I think the pillow gives you an ability to lift a little higher, but that's just my assessment. So the knees will be bent for this one. You might want to either put a block between the knees or just squeeze the knees together, knowing that gives a little more support to your low back. And just like we did before, we're going to use those arms to maybe help us as we reach and sweep our hands out over our knees and come back down, practicing just reaching out. Try not to squeeze the glutes until you absolutely need to. As you come up, they kick in, but don't initiate. So don't squeeze your bum as you're starting to come up. Squeeze your belly as you're squeezing yourself up, and then the glutes might kick in. So I'm going to add another layer with my arms. Here's another variation, making it a little harder. And let's pause. So for some people, they feel the neck. I understand that. You can always put one hand behind the head, but actually I'm an advocate for developing strong neck muscles because the neck needs to hold your head on. If they're weak, the head will fall forward, so it could do what it does, just saying. All right, I'm going to go to the lower end. And you could flip the pillow under your backside, or if you're going to be like me, you'll just scoot off the pillow. Maybe I have it on my head. And then I bring the knees in with my feet low. The feet become the weights. This is much easier if your feet go up. They kind of help you lift your hips. The feet down here hinder you lifting your hips. Now, not everyone can get that movement, so yes, you can use your hands. Your hands can push onto the mat as you draw those knees towards your chest. I often just cradle my head. I like my head up, and I draw the knees in all by themselves. You can have your feet crossed or uncrossed, it doesn't matter. I'm not really pulling my head toward, I'm not trying to crunch in. I just sometimes like my head up a little more. But you can put your hands on the floor and give that assist until you figured out how to lift the lower end of the torso by itself. You can hear in my voice my effort, huh? So you should be exhaling when the knees draw in, otherwise you're going to be at odds with your lungs trying to inflate while your body's trying to smush together. And we'll come to rest. I got this pillow here. I just rest my head on the pillow. My feet come down. So I'm going to introduce what you might recognize from a Pilates move, but I think it's actually designed for our core. So I'm going to add it in right now. So one leg will stay bent and the other leg will go up. If you can't make your leg really straight, it can work with a knee. We're going to cross toward the midline, toward the other bent leg, lower the leg down, open the leg out, bring the leg all the way up. And this is good for mobility of the hip, but really it's designed to work the core as stabilizers. If I didn't even think about my abdominal wall and I did this, I would be rolling on my hips. I would be rolling to accommodate the weight of my leg. So for this one, I'm going to ask you not to roll. So as that leg goes down, that's fine. When the leg goes out, don't let the other hip on the bent knee side raise up. Hold it down. That would be your core. So everything stays stable in your core. So we'll do about 5 or 6 on one side. I'll need to turn so that I don't hit the wall, and we do the other side. So set yourself up so you have one leg. And you're going to cross it toward the bent knee, and that helps you identify the action of Uddiyana. Lower it slowly, open it out. Don't let that other hip, that was my block, I think, go across. So if you're finding this on our third time as being somewhat easy, you can bring your hands into your heart so that you don't have benefit of using the arms. That's a little more challenging, you'll find. When your arms are down, they sometimes pick up some of the support that your core ought to be doing. 2 more times. Last time. Go ahead, bring that knee in and rest. So we're going to keep the same leg going, but it's going to go out to the side, down to the floor, and then come back up. So it's just going to change direction. When you're ready, hands down if you want. So open, keep that hip down, drop, come back up. The other leg should not be moving. Breathing. You only have but one more. And go ahead, draw that knee in. Oh, bring both knees in. There you go. All right, the leg you were working now comes down. I need to turn or I'm going to hit that wall. You can stay where you are. It doesn't matter if you don't have a wall in your space. Okay, so it goes down, opens out, and comes up. Check the hip of the bent leg. How's it going? And pull the knee in. That should be 6. Changing the direction. Goes out to the side. Hold that other hip down without pulling the knee open. Drop and then bring it straight up. Doesn't matter how far down your leg goes, you have to manage the core. The leg is just the challenge once more. And knees in. Feet down for bridge pose. I usually put my fingers at my heel, so I know I'm somewhat close. And then I'm going to elevate my hips. I come to bridge pose. This is where I don't need anything under my head, but okay. Elevating my hips. You may choose to keep both feet down if your back is not happy about one leg going out. So root into one leg is the other option and extend one leg away, not up, but outward. And then if you did one leg up, put it down, leave your hips elevated. Begin to ground into that leg you just lifted so that you can now do the opposite leg. And let's put that foot down, ground into it, and let's do the first leg one more time. So ascertain your form and the feeling. So you may be in good form, but it may not, we're switching to the other side. Your back may not like it, so maybe your hips need adjusting or something. And both feet down and the hips come down as well. Separate your feet, find the edges of the mat with your feet, kind of feel them. And we're going to do slow, what's called windshield wipers. You could go faster, but those of us with back concerns need a little more time to sort things out. So as the knees fall to one side, I guess it depends on what kind of car you have, how your windshield wipers work, right? So the outside leg usually drops completely to the floor and the other leg doesn't, allowing for a little bit of hip flexor. Now you can lift both legs at the same time, but again, I'm a little more self-serving by picking up the top leg and the bottom leg, and then I go the other way. Pausing there just to give a little extra stretch and time for me to assess and be aware of my back. Seems like things are pretty good today. So again, I'm still going to lift one leg first and then the second leg. Now you can progress as it feels appropriate. So if you think both legs up, both legs down at a quicker pace suits you, be my guest, be my guest, be my guest. So that will be a bit of our rotation. Now when the legs drop, use your hand to help push you up, and we come to our seated portion of our practice. If you have a blanket, pillow, or towel that you'd like to sit on, you can sit. Sukhasana for those who can, accommodate if you need to. So buns away, sitting with my hands supporting my spine, leaning back. If I let go, I'm going to fly into the wall. So I want you to know how much I'm relying on my hands to hold me here. And I'm holding this, and what I feel are my upper traps right here. I feel those are being stretched. And even if you had to have one leg straight for whatever reason, you could hold on to the other leg, and you'll mostly feel on one arm, but you could do both legs. Then I'm going to slowly nod my chin. Now I feel even more of the upper traps. Again, if you were to let go of your legs, you'd go flying backwards. That's how much you're holding on. Now use your hands to pull yourself forward, and then bring yourself up into a nice tall seated position. Bandha Konasana. So we do the same thing. Ankles or shins, sitting up tall and leaning back. Right here. Bow your head. Pull yourself forward. Straighten your spine up. So a little flossing today. Go ahead, put the hands behind you. I'm going to angle myself because there's a couple things happening. So one leg is going to stay bent. It won't matter which one, as we are going to do this on both. So the extended leg will do two things. The toe will pull back, and then the foot will stretch forward. That's all the leg does. It goes back and forward. And if you wanted to bend the knee when you pulled back and stretched out, you could. But I'm just going to do this. Now, my upper body does this and this. I don't have to look up. I just want my chest to come up. So I'm bowing down, and my hands just support me. So when I am flexing the foot, I'm bowing my head. So that's my stretch. When I lift the chest, I stretch the foot away. I breathe out when I bow down. I lift up when I'm stretching away. Can you envision the flossing action that's going down your spine and down the back of the leg? And once more. And let's do the other side. I'll face this way so you can see my foot. We can go right into it. So as you flex the foot, bow your head. Okay, let's do a little more for the neck. You can sit on a pillow blanket, or you could even go over to a chair. I'm just going to go back to Sukhasana. So arm to the side, and just like we did with the leg, the fingers flex and point. Fingers point up, point down. The head simply turns away and then looks at the hand. So when the fingers are pointing down, you look away. Fingers are pointing up when you look at your hand. Repeat. Are you breathing? Okay, let's switch other side. So I'm looking away when I point my fingers downward, looking to the hand when they come up. Breathing out, look away. One more. And to our hips. A pillow might be useful as we're going to do the fire logs today. If you look at the setup and you say, not mine, you're going to go and do the figure four or the pretzel, the one that we often do because it's a good one to know that you can go to as I give you some option ones. So that's coming here or going here. Yeah, so you can always do that one. That gives you the alignment that you might need for your back and the protection. You can elevate yourself sitting on my pillow. All right, so a couple things happen. Let's take the right leg as I'm mirroring you and put it down in front. So my knee slightly, my hip is slightly got my knee out, but my shin goes straight across, okay? Now I got this other leg over here. So let's lean onto the front bent knee arm so that I can pick up this ankle and I'm going to place the ankle on the knee like I do kind of in figure four. But I'm kind of lifted off of my opposite hip. So I have my ankle. Then I use my hand to bring me back up and I may look kind of like a zigzag, kind of a Zorro thing. As I use my hands to bring my spine up, perhaps this top leg can go a little further down. I am feeling tight today. Look at this. So this is like a double whammy. You should be sitting on both your hip bones or your pelvic bones. And you should have an ankle over a knee, not way over and not way inside, but just right on top. And that way, if this knee should happen to go down to the bottom leg, then it would touch the foot as a corresponding leg. So right now, both of my hips are yelling at me. So I'm going to breathe. If I perhaps want it a little more, let's just say this is easy for you. Try leaning forward until your hips then are getting some of the opening that we're aspiring to do. Release from whatever position you're doing. Now, if you're like me, I'm going to go back and lean over, take the top leg off, and then switch. So I lean over to the bottom leg side so I can get my shin and knee and foot all lined up. Then I pick up opposite leg and place the ankle atop. Then I use my hand on the ground to help shift me back onto my sit bones. I do much better on just the mat. And lift nice and tall. Seriously, good thing we're doing this today. So if my top leg came down, chances are it would hit on my ankle. If you're trying this and you're really not feeling safe, get on your back and do the pretzel pose. If you're not feeling your hips, a couple of assessment pointers. Make sure your spine is nice and tall. That could do it as soon as you pull out of your pelvis and get up nice and tall, because this really is just about the angles. Or you can lean a little forward if that helps. You also can be fighting against yourself. So look into your hips and see if things are just like, don't go any further, I don't feel safe. And just see if you can consciously relax where that tension is. Tune into your breath. If you don't feel safe, you don't do it. This is your third eye chakra giving you that advice. And we're going to release. Can we all come to a seated position? Ugh. I feel like I cannot get up and walk. I'm going to go into a straddle position. Again, sitting on something that elevates your pelvis is going to prevent you from rolling back and sinking into your lumbar. If you're not using something to sit on, I always have my hands behind me and they give me that position of sitting on my pelvis and a nice straight spine. The legs need to be straight. It doesn't matter where they are in terms of apart. So I'm sitting nice and tall. Right now I don't feel a whole lot because what I want to feel is from my knee to my pelvis. So for me, I need to use my hands and bring my torso in that hinging motion forward. You may not need that, or you may need further. That would be the hands coming in front. Now I'm feeling my inner thigh. Again, not to feel pain, but that point of a little discomfort is where you want to soften. So you're not creating that tension of, I have to protect myself. Nice to have some time in a yoga practice to really delve into you, how you approach your body. We know our younger versions were the invincibles, right? We just did those cartwheels and handsprings and played on the jungle gym perhaps. And then we got older and wiser or didn't want to break things. So we're all on our own trajectory, and where you are is appropriate. And I'm learning self-acceptance as well. All right, I'm up. I'm going to slip my hands under my knees and bring them together. I'm going to do a little bit for my shoulders. If you have a strap or a towel, you can grab it. If you don't, you don't have to. Let me just give you the simplest one, and then I'll get my strap over here. You can stay seated. You can stand up. You could be in a chair. I'm going to open up my strap. There, now it's doubled up. All right, so if you're not using anything, just put one hand on your shoulder, the other hand on the elbow, guide it up alongside your face. You may be inclined to take the free arm and grab the elbow. Now, this is not the elbow going out to the side. This is the elbow staying next to your face and your hand is reaching down your back. And you want to keep your head up rather than nod your chin. And you could do that one on each arm. If you have a strap or a towel, if you have a strap with a buckle, hold the buckle in your hand, just so it doesn't hit you. And you do the same thing. You put your hand on your shoulder, but instead of putting the hand up on the elbow, you take the other hand, thumb down, reach behind your back and find the tail of that strap, and then you walk your hands as available up that strap. So you're getting the same stretch for the upper arm, but in addition, the arm going around your back is getting an anterior stretch. So it doesn't matter if your hand doesn't have something to hold on to. You could do that option one. You may find asymmetry as I do, but some people do this pretty easily on both sides. So if you have a towel or strap, the hand that's behind your back lets go first, comes out, and then you're going to switch to the other side, holding that buckle or the end of the towel. If you're not holding anything, this is you putting your hand on your shoulder. This is you guiding the elbow up and just staying for that. Those of us with something in our hand do pretty much the same thing. But take the hand behind your back, grab the strap, work the hands up. Sometimes the hands come together and sometimes they don't. No judgment. Just do the best you can in the moment given to you. Chin up. If you have something in your hands, it's the hand behind that's going to let go first, and then the other arm releases second. So we're coming up to our Shavasana time. I'm going to go ahead and roll up my strap. It makes me feel very zen to just do this little simple motion. But you can ready yourself. So if you're where it's a little chilly, you might want to put a blanket over you, or at least warm up your feet with some socks or house slippers. If it's warm where you are, lucky you. You can just lay in that traditional corpse pose. You could lay on your side. You can lay on your belly. So if you put something over you, if you put a blanket over you, it also helps to relax. So blankets aren't always just for warmth. They're also for comfort and quieting. So now we do nothing. Allow yourself to rest on Mother Earth. The weightedness of the body with a heavy head and shoulders and back. The ease of the breath. The appreciation of you and all that you do and all that you give. And right now you're giving to yourself. And the deepening of the breath to awaken the body, perhaps wiggling fingers and toes. Stay as you are, roll to your side. Our thoughts for today. I try to forget what happened, what happiness was. Oh, we did this one. Hold on. Today is a different day. It did sound familiar to me. It is always in season for old men to learn. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, reading a paper, listening to the radio, like who listens to the radio really? Taking time to talk with friends, taking a class, or just watching what's going on around us. We regularly encounter things that we can learn from if we would just open our eyes to them. What if we were to really pay attention to the world around us? What if we were to ask more questions? What if we were to seek out answers to these questions? Even if the answers only confirmed what we know already, would they search for help and make us sharper and more engaged? So I want to be a permanent student because it keeps me engaged with life and makes me a more interesting person, I suspect. So there we have it. Just the Just the reminder to stay engaged, stay educated, stay entertained, all those things. I think you do that. Come to a seated position so we can finish our practice and go enjoy our day with a lifted and more grateful heart. So the arms expressed to the side, we join the palms, and with the hands at heart, the light in me honors the light in you. Thank you for joining. Namaste.